The year is 1944. The battle for the Pacific is brutal, and the Japanese Imperial Army is fighting with a desperate, scorched earth tenacity. But they were fighting another war too, a war of propaganda. Facing down American forces, Japan thought they'd found a crack in the armor. Race. Their leaflets, dropped by the thousands, aimed to sow division, telling the African-American GIs that they were fools, fighting and dying for a country that still treated them as second-class citizens. They called them cowards, weaklings, and suggested they surrender. It was a lie designed to break the morale of the segregated units like the 93rd Infantry Division, the only all-black division to see combat in the Pacific. Japan was betting on American racism. They were betting wrong. The men of the 93rd, nicknamed the Blue Helmets, had faced their own battles long before setting foot on a Pacific island. They endured rampant discrimination, often being shuffled into logistics and supply roles rather than combat. Even their own command often doubted their capability, viewing them through the lens of prejudice. But for these men, this was the Double V campaign, victory abroad against fascism and victory at home against racism. The 93rd was initially used largely for security and labor on islands like Guadalcanal. The perception from high command was clear: keep the black troops out of the heavy combat. However, the nature of the Pacific War, with its constant skirmishes and the Japanese army's refusal to surrender, made the lines between combat and support impossible to define. In 1944, elements of the 93rd, including the 25th Infantry Regiment, finally began serious offensive operations. They were given the task of eliminating the thousands of Japanese remnants hidden deep in the jungles of islands like Bougainville. This wasn't a set-piece battle. It was a savage, relentless hunt. The propaganda had called them cowards. The performance of the 93rd was the unwritten reply. On Bougainville, in countless jungle patrols and firefights against entrenched Japanese veterans, the black soldiers of the 93rd fought with a ferocity that stunned both the enemy and some of their own white superiors. They moved faster, fought harder, and were relentless in rooting out the remaining pockets of resistance. Their mission was to clear an estimated 8,000 to 12,000 Japanese soldiers still operating behind American lines. It was a hellish task of constant exposure and danger. They conducted thousands of patrols, often engaging in fierce close-quarters combat. By the end of their operational deployment in the Pacific, official estimates credited the 93rd with inflicting the staggering casualty number of 12,000 enemy troops killed and captured. The men whom the enemy propaganda had scorned as afraid to fight had delivered one of the most decisive blows against the Japanese on those islands. Their bravery earned decorations, promotions, and the grudging respect of even the most prejudiced white officers. They were not cowards. They were American heroes. They proved their commitment to the flag, even when the nation had not yet fully committed to them. The history of the 93rd Infantry Division is a testament to valor in the face of two enemies, the Imperial Japanese Army and the systemic racism of their own military. Their sacrifice ensured victory in the Pacific and laid critical groundwork for the civil rights movement back home. Their story must not be forgotten. Smash that like button if you were inspired by the Double V campaign. Subscribe for more untold stories of military history and comment below with your thoughts. Let's honor these incredible soldiers